Okay, so welcome back. During your during the strike, I was supposed to send you some videos so that we can use that to catch up on the time. But I didn't send because I felt we hadn't done enough so that if I give you the video, you can do it on your own without me being there. So the videos will come so that after a class we'll have a video before the next class so that there will be a break and then you have something to learn within that time. With that in mind, today we would immediately go into the Python. What we did the other time, I told you that, or the last lessons in which we did, we focused primarily on creating a folder. So over here, I have a folder in my, I'm in my desktop. I'm creating a folder. I'm going to call that folder work. And then once I create that folder called work, I'm going to right click in that folder, go to open in terminal, and then open my file using code dot to open it up in the VS Code like this. This operation only works when I am using Windows 11 and not Windows 10. For those of us who are using Windows 10, you are supposed to go and click on File. After you click on File, you'd go and look for Open Folder. After you find Open Folder, you'd go to where your file you created is. In my case, my file is in the what? Desktop. When I get to the desktop, I would look for work. I would open work and then make sure the folder selected is what? Work. And then I'll go and click on what? Select folder. This is the way we can create a folder and then create an environment that we can put our work in it. You have 2 minutes. Create a folder called work in VS Code. Please, a lot of the things we will do would be done on the computer, as I've already told you. So it should be done very, very quickly. Open a folder, call the folder work, and put your work in there. From next week, if I come to class before you come, you will not enter. Did we all hear that? From next week, if I come before you come, you will not enter. Again, hey, everybody has a computer, right? All you should be doing is typing and looking at your screen. Create a folder, make sure the folder is opened in VS Code. I've shown you 2 ways. If you are using Windows 10, you just go to open in terminal and type code dot. If you are using Windows 10, open VS Code. Go to file, go to open folder, and then look for the folder and open it. That's all you are doing. Is that clear? So for the very last time, go and look for a position on your computer, create a folder, name the folder whatever you want. So here I'll call it new G or something like that. Open it up and then type code dot. So you'd right click, go to open in terminal. When it opens up in terminal, you type code space and what? Dot, and press enter. And you see that the computer will open up VS Code for you. And you see that the folder I open's name will be here for me to continue my work. Is that okay? Now, if you don't have Windows 11, go to the search panel you have, look for VS Code like this. Once you find VS Code, open it up, and then go and click on File, go and click on open folder and then look for where you kept your folder. In my case, I kept it in what? Desktop. I'll look for the new G and then I'll open it up with select what? Folder. Like this. Just open up the folder. Are we okay? Now, before we start hammering the code onto the screen, there is some form of discussion in which we have to have. The form of discussion has to do with a very important word in programming. And that word in programming has to do with the concept of a variable. And what is a variable? What do I term to be what do I term to be a variable? What do I term to be a variable? Please, let us note this that the entire thing, when someone talks about coding and I want to write a program and you're a coder, and it goes in between. All of that language primarily, hey, wow, all of that primarily has to do with this thing here called a variable. What is a variable? The variable on this screen here is the thing that is colored in blue. Well, is the thing colored in what? Blue. What we have here, which is blue, is what we term as the variable. A variable is a space in memory. When we say space, we are not talking about your hard disk. From this point onwards, whenever someone comes here and says your computer's space or your computer's memory, he's not talking about the hard disk where you keep your movies. He's talking about the memory that is your RAM, or what you guys call your RAM. So, a variable is a space in memory that we use to store information. The variable is not the name you put here. For example, over here I say int age is equal to 21. The age is not the variable. The age is the address that points to the variable. For example, if I come to you and ask you where do you live and you tell me you live in La Paz. La Paz is the age here. Your actual house that you sleep in and everything is the space. So when you say you are staying in La Paz, let's say 224 Okro Gardens or whatever, that points you to the address that you find the word space. I want us to understand that point very well. Now, whenever I say int age is equal to 21, I am technically telling the computer to do the following thing. That it should go and create a space. It should give the space an address called age. So in your computer, when you are looking for an item, are we okay? You will find that item at a place they call what? Age. And when you get to age, go and put there 21. So in the space here, I have put there what? 21. Again, the 21 is not the variable. It is the value being kept in the variable. The age is not the variable. It's the address that is pointing to the what? Variable. The variable is just the space. And logically, this makes sense from this point of view. That I am telling the computer I want to store something. How big should the location of what I want to store be? That is why this int is there. So this int is telling the computer the space you are creating, let it be big enough to be able to store integer values. Because if you don't know this, memory is very expensive. If you want to buy 16 gig right now, someone will tell you it's 700 or 800 Ghana cedis. So memory is very expensive. So you don't have the luxury of memory. So it means each and everything you store, it must be stored and stored efficiently. That's the int here and the now, the int, the double, the string. You only do them to tell the computer the space you are creating, make it big enough for a string, a double, or an integer. So the computer knows that this space that is here, it should be big enough for an integer. That is why when you put an integer there, it is okay. When you go and put something which is not an integer there, it gives you an error because the space has not been prepared for that thing that is supposed to be what? Stored there. So again, space is the variable. The thing on top here, that is the variable name, is the address. The value is over here, and the information will always be stored in the what? RAM. Luckily for you, Python does not care about data type. So with Python, we are not going to do int, double, float, all of those things. With Python, the moment you write something and you put the equal to sign beside it, then that thing becomes a what? Variable. Full stop. But let us remember this. The data type is given on initiation. For example, here, where I have it is equal to 21, that is the point of initiation. That is me giving you an initial value. So it is the point of what? Initiation. So if I tell you create a variable and initiate it, I'm technically telling you that type age, make it equal to whatever I tell you to type over here. Do we understand that? So in here in Python, I am not bothered with that. For example, I can say x is equal to 5. It's fine with Python. Python understands that because it is 5, x is going to be a what? Integer. I don't have to tell Python that the x is an integer, so I should use it like that. Over here, y is equal to 3.14. Python understands that y should be equal to 3.14. Why does Python understand that? It already does those computations for you. So you as the programmer don't have to write double y is equal to 3.14. Because Python knows that the value at the point of initiation is to use that word, data type. Are we clear on that? Also here, we have name is equal to, in double quotes, Alice. Whenever you have a piece of code that is in double quotes, it means that that thing is a combination of other characters. The characters are anything you see on your keyboard, so letters, numbers, and symbols. Over here, we have over here we have this. So when I say name is equal to Alice, I'm technically telling the computer that over here, because they are in double quotes, treat them all as if they are what? One. That's why they become a string. So a string is a combination of multiple what? Characters together. Over here, I say is true is equal to true. So the computer understands that this thing here is a what? A boolean. And it will treat it like a what? A boolean. If I want to give a comment in Python, I use the hash symbol. So anytime I put the hash symbol in front of something, I'll see that the color of it will change to green. It means that that thing will not be what? Compiled. Are we all clear on that? Now, naming of a variable. Your variable should not start with, your variable should only start with letters from A to Z, small letters from A to Z. It cannot start with a number starting from 0. Are we okay? So you can't say 0, let's say 01 name or something like that. It should always start from A to Z or small letters A to Z, or it can start with a word, underscore. Anything apart from that, the variable cannot start with that. Also, the names of the variable you use should reflect what you are trying to portray. So, for example, over here, when I say name, I won't go and put a number over here because it doesn't make sense with what I am doing. And that comes from convention. It's not a rule or something, it's by what? Convention. So over here, we have different type of variable names in which we have seen, and then we have done that. Also in Python, very importantly, we can do this. I can say A, comma B, comma C, which is equal to 1, comma 2, comma, in quotes, hello. That means that A will take 1, B will take 2, and C will take what? Hello. So I can write it like that, and it is perfectly what? Acceptable. Are we okay? What is a global variable? What is a local variable? Over here, I have a diagram. here, I'm saying that the code here and the code here are two separate codes. Here I have one block. Over here I have another block of code. Imagine these things as a room. So here in this room here is one room. Over here I have another room. If you belong to this location here, where I have the block one over here, technically you have no right to go and do anything in this location here. So if you belong here, you belong here. If you are here, you belong here. There comes a case whereby something should be able to move from room to room. So if let's say you have a variable that can work in this environment here and also work in this environment here. In programming, we term such a variable as to be what? Global. If you only work in one location, then you are what? Local. So in Python, you say a variable is global when it is declared outside of a particular function. You say a variable is local when it is declared inside of a particular word, function. Note this, if we declare a variable in a function, it means that it can only work within that word, function. And that's all that it can work with. Let us continue. So yeah, I have an example of a function that is global and that is local. Over here, Alex, x is equal to Alice over here is local. So in this code here, if I tell you what is x, x is what? Alice. Note again that we said that we said that x here is a location that stores information. So when I say what is x, I'm practically saying that what have you kept in the location called what? X. And in this case, I've kept what? Alice. When I come to this scenario over here, at this point here, because we have global variable x here, it means that x is now what? 21. So in here, I am changing the 21 to what? Alice. Do we get the difference? Are we sure? If you don't understand, say it now, because the matter is not just America on you. In Python, there is nothing like a constant. There is nothing like a constant. In other programming languages, you can have a constant, which means that during the lifespan of the program, that variable cannot change its value during the life of that program. In Python, there is no special character for a constant. The only way someone can know that what you are doing is a constant is if you type it in capital letters. So in Python, when you are reading someone's code and you see something typed in capital letters, it means that that thing is a what? Constant. Are we clear on that? Let us write the following code. I think we did that the other time, didn't we? So we can move on from here. And then we can talk about operators. In here, these are the operators that we have for arithmetic. In your exam, I can ask you, mention any four operators you know. They are arithmetic, comparison, assignment, logical, and these are the four operators. I will also ask you, mention any four operators you know with four examples of each. So under arithmetic, we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, exponential, and then floor division. Under comparison, we have equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and what? Less than. And over here, we have the symbols for them. Let us note that in life, you can't compare three things. When you were children and you're with your friends and you want to show dominance, you say, my father is bigger than your father and your father and your father. That statement is totally wrong. You can only compare two things at a time. So remember that when operators, we'll be comparing only two things. So you can see x is equal to y, x not is equal to y. We are comparing two things to see which one has dominance over the other. Again, here we have the assignment operator. The assignment operator that we have all seen and utilized is the equal to, where we have x is equal to 5. So here we are saying go to location x, put there what? 5. For the second one, it gets a bit interesting. We are saying that go to location x. What you have at location x, take it, add 5 to it, and then put it back into what? Location x. So for if location x has 7 in it, if location x has 7 in it, plus equal to 5 means that I'm going to take the 7, add 5 to it, and put it back into what? X. So now what will I have as my x? 7 plus 5, right? 12. Are we clear on that? The same thing happens here, 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 and here. So I will take the value. If it is multiplication, I will multiply it by the value on the right-hand side, and then I'll add them all together and then put it back into where I found it. Over here, we have the logical operators. So here, I'll use it to do my bitwise operations and so on and so forth. So over here we have the logical operators. We have the and, the or, and the not. And this comes to the earlier statement I said, where I said we can't compare more than two things. So if I want to compare more than two things, that means I have to join the comparison operator to the logical operator I have right here, so that I can compare more than what. So we'll see examples of that. And the reason why I comment a lot on this one and the other one is because we'll be using it a lot when we get to the microcontroller. For example, if I want to enter a door, if the lock is correct, then I should be able to enter. Things like that. That's when we'll be using this kind of things. Now, let's write a simple program to add two numbers. Let's see how we would write a piece of code to add two numbers. Are we okay? So, in my Python, please let's watch me, then you can do what you want. Also, I know that some of you can code already. Don't help the people who cannot code. Let them do it themselves. The only reason why I could come do the slides and we close and go, the only reason why you have your PC here is try it yourself. Are we okay? So in here, I'm going to click here. In here, I'm going to type add.py. Remember, for our application to be a Python application, we need to add .py. So I've done that. In here, I'm going to say number 1 is equal to 2. I'm going to say number 2 is equal to 3. And I'm going to say sum is equal to number 1 plus number what? 2. Then I'm going to display it to the user. We said if you want to display, you use what? Print. So in here, I'm going to say in double quotes, the answer is, add plus here to combine, and I'll put sum over here. The computer immediately gives me a red line under what I am doing, telling me that I have an error on that line. Why do I have an error on that line? Print only deals with strings. So if I want to display something, that thing has to be a string. In the code we have here, we have we have number one is equal to what? 2. Number one being equal to 2 means that number one is a what? Integer. Number 2 being equal to 3 means that number 2 is a what? Integer. Because sum is adding up two integers, it means that sum is a what? Integer. Therefore, if I'm telling the computer to display a string and add it to an integer, the computer doesn't understand that because it can't have a string and an integer moving what? Together. Hence, I'll tell the computer that convert this sum here into a what? String. The moment I do that, you can see the line under it what? Goes away. Do not be afraid to get an error. There is no shame in getting an error. We all get errors. The shame is when you see the error once and then you see it again and you don't know what it is. There is no shame in getting an error. You will learn why you got the error and then you correct and move on. So when you are writing the code and you see it underlined like that, you know why it is being what? Underlined like that. When I run this code, I expect, so how will I run it? I can see that when I move to this side here, I'll see the plus button, the run button over here. I'll click on it, and then underneath here, I can see that the answer is what? 5. My code is working, everything is fine. Let us try doing the same thing and see if we'll get the same result. For those of you who didn't bring laptops and are not sitting beside anybody, it is one point, one show you are. I'm so shaking up for Nana. Fine. And note that the next statement out of the mouth, it doesn't make sense to you are going as why is it? That's staying far. I'm not here putting. That's staying. I'm staying at 80. And next time I'm paying you, what is that? Next time I'm paying you, that's so poor. Do sorry, time. Oh, sorry, 10:30. That's 11 o'clock. You know, sorry, 10. That is vote, vote. They are not voting for you. Let us agree. Should I start? Yes or no? Last year, 11, I was sorry, 10:30. Who what the people there, who come to town? What is wrong? What I'm saying in English, I'm saying that the class is at 11. You woke up at 10:30. How are you going to get here at 11? So when you come and get and sack you, okay, then let's sack you. Yes. Python is very, very, very consistent when it comes to spacing. So please, if the space is not needed, don't leave it. Like how you are writing your, if you're writing your C++, over here, instead of you leaving one space, then you come and look at two spaces, because you want there to be gap. Don't do that in Python. Are we okay? Uh-huh. Now, the coding which we just wrote is quite nice if the person who is dealing with this code only wants to add add 2 and 3 to get what? 5. When the scenario comes in, when the individual has to change the number in which he is putting in, so maybe I want to put in 10 or 20 or 4 or 5, how will I ask a user for information, get the information, and then utilize the information in which I want? What? The way I'll do that is by, in here, I would say input. And in here, I'll put the message I want to input. So here I would say enter number 1. Now, let us analyze this statement I've put here very well. Whenever you tell a user to input something, technically you are telling the user to do 2 things. First thing, you are asking. So here I am asking. Enter number 1. Logically, the person is going to what? Enter number 1. So the next thing that has to do with input is me receiving. So you can see that I'm telling the computer, whatever that you go and collect from this statement here, put it in what? Number 1. So this statement here allows you to ask the user and collect the information. When you are doing C++, you realize you say C out, please enter number, C in, then you receive it. That doesn't work with Python. This statement here does those 2 things for you. So it will ask and it will what? Receive. Note that when it receives it as a string. You will see that. Don't worry. So in here, I'll tell the user again to input number 2. So now, let me do a colon here, and let me do a colon here. So now, when I save and run this piece of code here, over here it says what? Enter number 1. So I'll go and enter 22 here. When I press enter, the value 22 will be taken and put in what? Number 1. So it has done that. I put in 8 over here. I click enter and it tells me that my answer is 22, 8. That's not the answer which I was expecting. I was expecting my answer to be 30. Why is it giving me 22 and 8? Remember that in Python, the value of the variable is assigned, the data type of the variable is assigned on initiation. So at this point in time here, over here, where I'm asking the user to input something and the person will type something, what is coming back as a string. So what I'm technically saying here is take a string, and join them together. So he has taken 22 and 8, and then he has joined those 2 things what? Together. So the computer is doing what I asked it to do. But I have to tell the computer what you are taking from the person. Treat it like it is a what? An integer. What you are taking from the person here to treat it like it is a what? Integer. So when I do this and then I run my code, I would see if I put 22 here and I put 8 here, I am getting what? 30. Again, I am leaving in the errors in the code so that you would see them. So that when you are on your own and you are getting those same errors, you would know what to do. Are we clear? Let us modify our code and see if we'll get the same result. in my day to day, all the codes I write they add semicolon, so it become a habit. Don't add it. Did we get the same result? Okay. Let us start doing harder questions. If we can do this one, then let's look at a question which is much, much more harder. I want to choose someone to read the question for me. Should I choose a male or a female? I'll choose a male. Okay. Should I choose from the back or the front? I'll choose from the back because the first person said was said. So at the back, should I choose from this side or this side? Someone over here said this side and was honorable, so we'll choose from this side. So now over here, the two rows I have here. Who do I choose? That's the guy who's in yellow top because no one told you to wear. Who do it? So the guy wearing the yellow, read what is on the board. Read it. No, you, the other one. Yeah, you, the one in glasses. Yeah, you. Read it. And make sure your voice is as loud as mine. You can't see. If you read him here, you can't see. It's not that kind. It's not that bra. Come. Kind. The way I read it there, you read again. So you must show your voice. If it was girl, you wanted normal, you collect. Read it. You know that when it's done, one of you who's talking will explain what he just said. So if I was you, I'll be reading with him. I'll continue from where it stopped. Stop. The last guy at the back wearing the black, you were looking on your phone throughout the time he was reading. Continue reading. Stand up. You can go and sit down. Continue reading. Whilst he was reading, you were watching your phone. So continue reading. Read what is on the screen. What does the program want us to do? The other statement in yellow. At the end of the day, what does the program want us to do? Yes, you. Let me know what the program wants us to do. You can say that. What does the program want us to do? Since we are on the team of yellow, a branch out to say yellow. What does the program want us to do? The program wants us to display the income generated. You see, a lot of you say that whenever we say coding, it is what we just did on the board where I write the program. That's not coding. The structures in which I did were that there is operator, there is this, there is that. That is my job. That is what I'm supposed to do. The solving of the questions, we are just implementing that. And that one comes from you. Now, the best I can do as a teacher is teach you how to see a problem, how to break a problem down and solve. But the solving of the problem comes from you. So you must learn how to break down the problem. The first step in breaking down the problem is to know what they want you to do. You see, that statement there goes a bit further than even this classroom. If you go for a contract, how do you get paid for a contract? You get paid when you do what the person wants you to what? Do. All the other things, let's say you do a site and you go there and you click a button and the button goes up, comes down, dances, and then locks the person in. Being an AFL, yes, you make your career and log in. So we must understand. The question wants us to write a program that asks how many tickets that are sold. That's not what the question wants us to do. At the end of the day, what does it want us to do? The amount of income what? Generated. So if we do the program and we do not get the amount of income that is generated, that means we are failed. So how do I get the amount of income that is generated? I'll get the amount of income that is generated by knowing how many tickets are sold for each seat. For example, if there are 4 seats sold for VIP, then I know that it is 4 times what? 150. If there are 3 seats sold at popular stand, I know it is 3 times what? 100. If there are ordinary seats, there's only one person there, then I know it is what? 50. So 50 plus whatever I have here plus whatever I have here would give you the income that is what? Generated. That brings out the question. What do I know? What don't I know? I know the amount for each and every single section. Do I know the tickets that are sold for VIP? I don't know that. So the thing I don't know, what will I do? I'll ask the user to what? Enter it. Over here, I have the number of seats for popular stand. Do I know it? I don't know it. So it means I have to ask the user to enter the number of seats for what? The popular stand. I also have to ask for the what? Ordinary what? Stand. Again, I hope you understand this concept. You are playing football. There is the VVIP people who are rich and can pay. There is the popular stand where the people act as if they are rich, but they are not rich, but they are doing too low. And then there is the standing which I always go to the popular stand where you get go, that is so good. That play. That's where they initiate. In life, if you get money, don't go here. Always go here. Always go here. So here we want to see how much income we got. I will begin by writing a variable for the VIP price, the popular stand price, and the ordinary what? Price. Now, here is where you people are going to do well. You know how to create a folder. Create a folder, call that folder Stadium. In Stadium, create a file, call that file income.py, and then type this code over here in that code. Are we okay? You all clear? Create a folder, call that folder Stadium. When you are done, create a file, call that file income.what? BY. And in income.BY, type the code we see on the board here in it. Are we okay? Let's do that quickly. Opening a folder, doing this should take you less than 2 minutes. It should be fast. That thing in green on the screen, what is it called? Comment. What? We should be done by now. Can we go on? Can we all go on? Okay. So in here, I want to do the following. I want to ask the user to tell me the price, the tickets, the amount of tickets that were sold for the VVIP. Are we okay? So tickets underscore VIP is equal to integer, enter amount, amount, amount VIP tickets. Okay. Next thing, I want to do the same thing for popular stand. So popular stand. Oh, sorry. Hello, Edith. Yeah, what's up? Uh-huh. Oh my own. Yeah. Eh, level 100 for the ammonia to wear prints on the side. So school in country print on the side. Yeah, yeah, that's they don't have any results there. So it's either this yes, yeah, it's not supposed to show, but they haven't said anything about it. So there's nothing you can do at this point. So I don't know. Yeah, sure. Okay, so the code on the board will allow me to ask the user to enter the amount of VIP tickets sold. Let me add sold over here. So sold. Popular tickets that were what? Sold. And then this that was also what? Sold. Are we okay? Are we okay? Now, this would give me all of the tickets that were what? Sold. So now, if I want to calculate the income that was generated, so here I want the income, it should be equal to the VIP price times the ticket price of the VIP in one bracket, then plus the popular stand price plus, oh, here there was a times here, plus the original price. Let me go back once here because it's annoying. Yes, I'm too close. Plus the tickets for the original price. So now that I know the income that is generated, I can say print into brackets income generated, and then here I can bring my plus str, and then in here I can put the income. So the code here will present me with Over here, I was supposed to put input here. Obi say, ah, perfect. If I make it bigger again, you will not see all the writings that are there. For those of you who are watching what I am doing, over here it is one line. Are we okay? Can we see that? Here it is one line. I'm just doing it there like this so you can see and type. Are we okay? So of course, to make the Ghana city thing appear over here, I'll add GH and I'll bring the C here so that it attaches to it. Are we okay? Gives it a bit of authenticity. We should be done by now. You should be running and testing if you get the answer by now. Again, this class here is showing us variables, how to get information, how to store information, how to manipulate the information to get a result. Are we okay? Everything we'll be doing will be based on these things. Get information, manipulate, display. Get information, manipulate, and what? Display. Are we okay? Our codes are running. Gentlemen, are you okay? Are you okay? Which other one? It's the same thing. This one. Create a new project and then solve the question that is on the board. Create a new project. Take repetition. Let your memory remember what you're supposed to do. Create a new project and solve the question that's on the board. First person to finish gets 5 marks. If you follow me and I tell you it is wrong, you get -5. So only follow me when your code is bad, it is correct. And the reason why the first person to finish getting 5 marks is so that you people start learning how to type and think faster. There is someone sitting there right now saying, "Baby, yeah, the 5 marks to me now. Or get paid, or get paid, or come on." Oh, the money is gone. Oh, I'm not hearing someone. Therefore, if there are two of you on the chair and you are using one computer, the person the laptop belongs to decide if the 5 marks should be shared or you take alone. By the way, it should be in the new folder. Let that come and you are using the old folder to do this one. Zero. By now, you should all have the question, right? Because I'm also coming to start. So if I finish before you, then I keep my 5 marks. Now,